Hello, so let's do a little chair work today. I'm going to sit up in my chair really tall. I'm going to encourage you to do the same thing. We don't want to be leaning back against the chair. I do have blocks here. They're very lightweight foam blocks that if you have them, you might want to grab them. If you don't have them, then sometimes we can use books in place of those blocks, and I'll let you know how and when you can do that. Okay, so let's make sure that the head is stacked over the neck, shoulders are over the hips, knees are over the ankles, and feet are straight out in front of you. All right, so let's go ahead and get a little blood flowing up through the body. So we're going to do some ankle pumps here. All right, and keep those ankles pumping as you inhale your arms up and exhale the hands down. Inhale up. Exhale down. Inhale up. Exhale down. And then just let your feet settle and swing your arms. So let's see if we can roll the shoulders for a minute, just loosening things up. And bring the arms out and down, out and down, out and down. And with the arms out, let's circle, just big rotations. And back in the other direction. And setting the hands back down to the legs. Okay, so we're going to see if we can get a little mind-body connection work going. So we're going to go ahead and get those ankles pumping again. Bring the hands out in front of you. Let's circle the wrists. And go back in the other direction. See if you can keep those wrists circling and the feet moving, but bring the arms out to the sides. And right back out in front of you. All right, now keep your wrists circling, but instead of having the feet pumping together, we're going to go opposite. One foot comes onto the ball of the foot, the other one to the heel. Back and forth, keeping the wrist moving. So a real challenge to the body and the brain to work together. And don't forget to breathe. And settle the hands and the feet back down. Okay, so we're going to get our feet wide. Now this is one of those places where if you have blocks, great. If you have books, they will also work. You're sitting up tall, you're folding from the hips. So we've got our blocks here or our books here just to give us some support. So if you're not comfortable having your head come down any further than this, you don't have to. You can just hold here. If you are comfortable, you can move your blocks out. You can start to fold a little deeper if that's comfortable for you. You can drop the head, if it works, you can drop the head a little bit more. We don't want the head to just be hanging down through the arms. So we're trying to keep a more neutral head position lined up with the neck. And then walking your blocks or books back, hands to the knees, and unfold from the hip creases. Inhaling your arms up and exhaling the hands down. Okay, so I'm going to move my blocks to the side and come back in, and let's bring one foot up and circle the ankle. So we're just going to go ahead and get that ankle warmed up a little bit. Go in one direction and then the other. Setting that foot down, bring the other one up and circle. All right, now we're going to open up the hip a little bit. So we're going to bring one leg up. And as you sit up tall, see how you feel. See how the hip's feeling and responding. If it works for you, you might try to fold from the hip crease. We don't want to fold from the waist because that's going to put pressure on the low back. So we're folding from the hip. I'm not pushing down on my leg. I'm just letting my arms rest here. This other knee is stacked on top of the ankle, the foot out there where I can see it, so it's not tucked up underneath me. And breathe. And unfold, setting that foot down. We're going to bring the other leg up as tall as we can. Deep breath on the exhale, folding at the hip crease. And coming back up and setting that foot down. And we're just going to do a little bit of marching in our seat. So I'm just stepping one leg up and then the other one. Now to add to this, when I come down, I'm going to step up with my foot and back. Up with the foot and back. So I'm just right up in front of me and back. So I could go out to the side and then up to the front. Out to the side and up to the front. Out to the side and up to the front. And then come back. All right, so just to get a little inner thigh stretch from the chair, coming onto the big toe and allow the leg to draw out to the side. Now be mindful, this can be a pretty intense stretch on the inner thigh. So maybe you don't want to go that far. Just see where your body wants to go with this. Try to keep yourself lifted up. I'm lifting up from my pelvic floor so that I'm engaging these core muscles, my belly muscles, lifting up tall, so I'm sitting up as tall as I possibly can. And then bringing that one back in, going to the other side, and breathe. And coming back in. All right, let's bring some attention back to the upper body. Let's bring one arm across the body. This one gets people caught up sometimes. So I'm going to take my right arm right out here in front of me and just start going across to the other side of the body, keeping the arm straight, keep the elbow straight, keep the wrist straight, and the finger straight. Now I'm going to take my opposite arm and hug the arm in toward me. So as I do this, I'm not going to let my wrist hang. I'm not going to bend the elbow. I'm going to have the arm out straight and across, and then just use the other arm to hug it in. Of course, only doing what feels good to you. That's the point. This is supposed to honor your body. This is supposed to serve your better good. So being mindful. Okay, we're going to go to the other side. Again, nice straight arm across, and then hug the arm up. Breathing. And then release. Okay, so that was a little sit down work. We're going to go ahead and come to a stand. I'd like to have my feet out where I can see my big toes, because we get in a bad habit of pushing off of chairs, and I know if you need to do that, then do what you need to do. But I'm going to try to push through my feet to stand up. Make sure you have something. If you have balance issues, you really do need to hold on to something or have something nearby that's maybe a countertop or something that will help you with your stability. Pushing through, standing straight up. All right, so we're going to move the chair up to the front of our mat and have our mat clear of anything. I want to make sure that all 4 legs of my chair are on my yoga mat. You can always push your chair up to a wall if you need better stability. So you can put your chair up to a wall if you need that to provide you with feeling more stable. Okay, so with ourselves standing to the back of the chair, we're going to go ahead and bring one foot up. So finding that little bit of balance here. Now I'm not going to lock this knee over here. I'm going to keep it relaxed. And I'm having this foot off the floor, just getting a feel for this balance. So if I wanted to, I could keep holding on with both hands, or I could maybe take one hand away and see how that feels. Bring it back, try the other one, see how that feels. Bring it back. Maybe I just put my thumbs to the chair to see how my balance is. Maybe I bring one hand off. So I'm just showing you incremental ways of increasing your trust with yourself and your balance. So your foot is very close to the floor. So if you needed to set it right back down, you could. Your hands are staying very close to the chair so that if you wanted to test it to see, and then you could come right back into place and then just kind of walk it out. So that was one leg. We're going to try the other leg. So now I'm going to stand on this other leg. I'm not going to lock, in other words, I'm not going to bend the knee, but I'm not going to lock it back. I'm going to relax it. The other foot is just hovering over the floor as I again see how I balance. And one side may balance better or not as good as the other, depending on how your body is. Depending on how the wind's blowing today. There's lots of reasons why you might not be balancing just the way you think you should be. But just try playing around here, seeing what works for you, seeing how you feel stable. If you're not comfortable bringing your hands off of a chair, then don't, okay? And then you can set that foot down and kind of walk it out. So that's some incremental ways of increasing your balance in your body. Okay, we're going to step back. Stepping back, having the knees bent, pushing through the caboose, coming into your chair dog. Steady breath. Okay, now to come out of this, you can lift the head and the chest and you can walk back up toward your chair. Coming back up. All right, and then just kind of walk in place here. Okay. Now, this next thing will be a little bit of balance and a little bit of strength. So we're going to be up tall. We want to think about lengthening up to the body, drawing upward and rooting through the feet so that we've got this great tall posture. So the only thing that's going to change here is where my foot is. I'm going to stand up tall. I'm going to take one foot and I'm going to reach it back to come onto the toe. I did not move the rest of my body at all. I'm just holding here. I'm contracting some muscle in my belly to help lift up and keep me held in place. I'm feeling my calf working a little bit of work up through the thigh and the glute. All right, and then I'm going to bring that back in place. Going to the other side, again, I'm up tall. I'm going to take the foot, reach back, feel that glute squeeze a bit, holding steady. And come back into place and just sort of walk it out. Okay, now I'm going to turn away from the back of my chair. And I'm doing that because I want to really do some marching in place and I don't want to hit my knee on my chair. Of course, you can hold on to that chair if you need that. If you're comfortable, you can move the arms. All right. And come back down and walk it out. You guys see my mat gets squirrely because I'm on carpet. Hopefully you have a nice, flat, smooth surface to put your mat on and you don't have that issue. Okay, we're going to turn our chair around. We want the seat to face us. And whenever we fold in yoga, I like to see people bend their knees. It takes pressure off of the low back. So we're going to bend the knees, folding at the hip creases so that we're pushing the back side back. Hands come into the seat of the chair. Stepping the feet back ever so slightly. We're going to bring one leg up. It doesn't have to come up very high. And then just set that toe back to the floor. Up and to the floor. Up and to the floor. Keep going if you can. Okay, we're going to set that foot down. If you need to lift one hand off your chair and then the other just to kind of see, maybe circle your wrist if you're feeling some pressure in the wrist. And then we'll go to the other side. So you're going to bring the other leg back. It doesn't have to come up high. Dip the toe. Lift. Dip the toe. Lift. Dip the toe. Lift. Dip. Lift. Keep going. All right. And then setting that foot down. And then I'm kind of pushing back just a little bit because I want to feel real solid through my feet. Hands come to the legs. Start walking back up. Unfolding from those hips. Inhale the arms up. Exhaling down so that if you're able to, you can bring the hands back toward the back of the body. You don't have to bring them together. Just reach toward and then release. Reach back and then release. Keep your knees relaxed here. Reaching back and then release. Reaching back and then release. And then again, circling your wrist if that feels good. Okay? All right, let's come back to sit in our chair. And if you have a block, get your block. If you don't, that's okay. You can just hold your hands like you're holding the block. Because I'm going to have my hands just flat on the ends of these blocks, on the end of the block. You can just hold your hands out like this, pretending to hold a block. Okay, so all I'm going to do here is sit up tall again. I'm not leaning back against the chair. I'm going to reach to one side. I'm not twisting. I'm just reaching, coming back, reaching to the other side. So if I didn't have the block, I would just be reaching and reaching. Reaching and reaching. Come back to center. Get your feet wide. Lower. Lift to wherever your shoulders are happy to go. Don't force it. Lower. Lift to wherever your shoulders are happy to go. So it's a slow and easy movement. We don't want to force the body to move where it doesn't want to go to. You got to think about your joints. If you have arthritis, some gentle movement is nice, but we just don't want to overdo it. Maybe do a little circling. Maybe see if you can go back in the other direction. All right, now I'm going to set the block on my knee. If I don't have the block, that's okay. I'm just going to pretend to hold something here. I'm going to bring it across to the other side and back down. Across and back down. So with the block, across and down, across and down. These foam blocks are very, very light. And so they're very nice. And if I dropped one on my toe, it likely would not cause any injury. All right, and to the other knee, across and down, across and down. And I apologize, it seems that my little dog is snoring. So if you hear that, extra sounds today. All right, and back. Okay, so let's go ahead and scoot all the way back in the chair. This is one of those few times I'm going to tell you to do that. You're going to come up onto the heels of the feet if you can, so your toes come up off the floor. See if you can spread your toes wide. We're going to spread those toes as wide as we can. Curl the toes under. Spread the toes wide. Curl the toes under. Spread the toes wide. And then relax the feet back down. All right, so I'm going to let my legs just kind of come out here. I'm not worrying about stacking everything up right now. I'm just going to get comfortable. Let my knees kind of drop out a little bit, and even my hands. I'm just going to let my hands rest here on my legs, and as they do, I'm going to let my palms be turned up. So we want to just be in kind of a relaxed place here, so that our shoulders are drawn down away from the ears. You could close your eyes if you want to. Take a deep breath in. Exhale slowly. So I'm trying to inhale through my nose and exhale back out through the nose, very slow. And then just come into whatever natural breath suits you. See if you can give permission to your face to relax. Okay, let's see if we can connect the thumb to the pinky finger on each hand. And release. Thumb to the ring finger of each hand. And release. Thumb to the middle finger of each hand, and release. Thumb to the first finger of each hand, and release. And just letting the hands be relaxed. Continue to allow a sensation of comfort, a time of being restored, a time of just being and not doing. Then when you can, wiggle those toes, wiggle your fingers, bringing your awareness back into the space by opening your eyes. Think about how you're sitting back against your chair. But we're going to draw up and away from that chair for a moment, sitting away from the back of the chair. Bring the hands together in front of the heart. So we're going to feel the connection of the palms, the thumbs, and the fingers right here in front of your heart center. This is also called prayer hands. Take a deep breath. Exhale, maybe turn the head to one side. Inhale back to center. Exhale to the opposite side. Inhale back to center. Exhale your chin to your chest. And then as you bring your head back up, I hope that you feel like you've got a little bit of movement in today, and that you're feeling good and got the blood flowing, and that you have a great rest of your day. Namaste.